Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another fusion, and this guy's a bit of a weird one. I'm gonna go for him just because I lack two of the things that he has in his kit, as well as the fact that several members of my community have said that he will benefit my account. I'm not sure that I concur, but I'm gonna give it a shot and we'll see what happens. We've got Lysanthir Beastbane, a defense-based Spirit Affinity legendary champion with a A1 Echo Bolt, attacks one enemy 2 times. The first hit has a 100% chance when booked of placing Hex on the target for 2 turns. Places a increased crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns after the second hit. It's a weird A1. You don't really want that on a single target, at least, simply because the head that you're going to be trying to land Hex on the most is Head of Mischief, and that is very difficult to target with single target attacks. This also, because he's only placing increased crit damage on himself, this also makes him a target for the Head of Mischief, which is an odd place to be. Hold up, click the link in the description right now to get a free Uugo, as well as 2 more free epic champions as you level up. Here are the steps to get yours. Step 1, log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to your inbox and claim your first champ. This is an amazing account start to Raid, so click the link and start now. On the A2, Wily Hunter attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 20% chance of repeating the attack. It's a low chance, but I've already seen on showcase videos how when it hits hard. When this champion counterattacks or teams up with allies to attack an enemy, will use this skill instead of their default skill. The damage inflicted with this skill increases by 10% each time an ally is devoured, and that stacks up to 50%. He's such a niche champion because every move he has is centered around Hydra. Again, in Hydra, this A2 can do a lot of damage, and the fact that he uses that skill when counterattacking or being a member of an ally attack is very interesting, as well as the damage increase. My problem with that is not only is it a very niche condition because devouring can only happen in Hydra, but what happens when he's the target of the devour? It doesn't do you a lick of good. And then on the A3, Runed Snares attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 100% chance when booked of placing decreased speed and weaken for 2 turns. If a target is under Hex, places these debuffs before attacking. That Hex condition is really nice because when met, it means that he no longer has to worry about affinity for placing his debuffs. While that's nice, my problem with that is decreased speed can actually be a hindrance in Hydra because of Serpent's Will. So you kind of have to be careful about that if you're wanting to try to maximize your damage, because you want that Serpent's Will to come off as quickly as possible, otherwise the head won't take damage. And then on the passive, Survivalist Supreme will ignore Life Barrier and Ally Protection. Ally Protection is a niche situation in arena and wave-based content, and Life Barrier is exclusive to Hydra. So again, they're really shoehorning this guy to be really good at one area, and that's it. And then increases this champion's defense by 5% for each active buff on this champion. Stacks up to 50%. He also has a increased allied defense in all battles by 28% aura. I feel like it should have been 30. It's 2%. I don't see why they couldn't have put that in there. Passive is a bit of an afterthought, I feel like. I think it would have been way cooler since he's kind of there to help with busting your allies out of Devour. I think it would have been really cool to have made his passive to where he is immune to Devour. He can't be the one targeted by it. I think that would have made him a whole lot more valuable. Yeah, overall, I'm skeptical about this champion. He could be really good. Again, I've seen him hit pretty hard on the showcase videos, but I'm not overly impressed or enthusiastic. I'm skeptically hopeful. So that is the upcoming fusion. It will be starting sometime by the time you're seeing this video. It may have already started, actually. So that's Lysanthir Beastbane. Do I think you should go for him? Yeah. You might as well. If you have the resources and you're confident that you can get it done, go for it. Because at the end of the day, a fusion's a fusion. It's a champion that you don't have to worry about hoping that you pull someday. At the end of the day, it's a fusion. So if you can, do it. on to the next champion that we are going to look at here, Udex Artor. This is the login fragment legendary for the community weeks that is going to be coming up. You'll be able to collect him by logging in for a 25-day calendar that will also be starting up very shortly. I believe it starts on the 8th of April. So again, by the time you're seeing this video, it may already be live. This guy is an interesting one. I wish he wasn't Sacred Order. He is a legendary spirit support champ. I think there are factions who could have used this guy or this kit far more than Sacred Order. They are already incredibly strong as far as their revivers and supports are concerned. I think this champion would have been far better suited to go to a faction like, I don't know, Orcs or Lizardmen or Shadowkin would have highly benefited from this guy's kit. But let's read through it and see what we're looking at. We got a Sensor Whirl for the A1. It's an AoE, heals all allies by 5% of this champion's max HP. It's a good A1. Depending on what his base HP looks like, he could provide a lot of healing, especially if you're running him with counterattacks or ally attacks. What I wish they could have done, and just by doing this, I think this guy would have immediately become like a top tier support, would have been to make it to where his A1 did not trigger counterattacks. It's an AoE, and because it's an A1, that can be a massive problem going up against like Valkyrie or bosses who counterattack. I think just throwing that little tidbit on there would have bumped him up to an incredible power level. On the A2, we've got Incense of Inspiration, places increased attack and strengthen on all allies for 2 turns, then fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%. It's a good skill. I don't see synergy between increased attack and strengthen. I think it would have been better for it to be increased speed rather than strengthen, but it's still a good skill. Don't get me wrong. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, and turn meter fill is always nice. Then on the A3, Revival Mandate revives an ally with 50% HP and turn meter, also places increased attack buff on that ally for 1 turn, then activates the revived ally's default skill, targeting the enemy with the lowest HP. This is a very, very interesting revive. Yes, it's single target. Yes, it's on a 4-turn cooldown, but this could be a game-changing revive. I'm thinking champions like Skullcrown, who have a very strong AoE A1. You bring them back up. It doesn't matter if they're targeting the person with the lowest HP or not. They're going to attack the entire team. Thinking about Lady Eric's, or Eric's, I don't know if there's Lady on it, but Eric's massive amounts of damage on an A1. Or champions who grant an extra turn if they kill on the A1. There's a lot of applications for this revive that could really just turn the tide of a battle. And on the passive, Sentenced to Life, if an enemy is killed by an ally's default skill after being revived by Revival Mandate, resets the cooldown of the Revival Mandate skill. That is on a 3-turn cooldown. You're only going to gain benefit out of this from PvP and wave-based content. However, that is still a very potent passive in those situations. He's got a increased ally speed in arena battles by 25%. It's kind of a low power aura. I mean, it's only 2% higher than Gorgrab, and he's an epic. I don't see at all why they couldn't have said 28% like so many of the recent legendaries that they've been releasing with arena auras. But overall, I think Udex Artor could be a massive success. He's not quite what I was expecting or wanting, but I'm not disappointed too much by this kit. He's going to be really good for early game players who are starting out, people who are struggling with healing in progression. He's going to be a lifesaver. He could even find some use cases in mid to late game players. Now, by the time you get to end game, I think he's going to be kind of useless outside of like secret rooms and Curse City, but you could do a lot worse than Udex Artor. Yeah, those are the 2 champions that are going to be accessible here in the upcoming patches. Let me know, what do you guys think? Do you think you're going to go for this fusion? Are you excited about Udex Artor? Do you already have some use cases for him in mind? I know personally, I'm looking forward to having him for having a better backup speed aura for arena, because of if somebody picks my arbiter, then I'm kind of screwed. So I'll be happy to have another option there. But yeah, I'm pretty optimistic about this new group of champs that's coming. Let me know what your guys' thoughts though are, because I love hearing from you guys. Brightens my day up a little bit whenever I get a comment. So with that being said, I've been Kurodor. stay happy, healthy, and stay tanky.